We just want you to know, life isn't fun unless you're doing it on purpose. And when you are doing it on purpose, then it feels to you, and it is exactly this way, that the entire universe is backing you up, wrapping you with a blanket of well-being, always, always there to deliver to you not just generally what you want, but specifically what you want on every subject. You get to carve it out. You get to look through the catalogs of life. You get to sift and sort and throw into your vortex. And then, friends, you get to vibrationally tune yourself to the frequency of who you are, and you get to experience those two powerful representations of the frequency that you have accomplished. The manifestation and the wonderful feeling of expansion as it is unfolding. We are eager to talk with you about anything that is important to you. We see it as our best value to you to keep you on your signal of what you are wanting. We will listen to you briefly about whatever it is you want to talk about. But you're going to discover we are not very excited about assisting you in continuing to build the pathways and the thoughtways and constructing the process toward things that you do not want. There is just no justification, there is no value, there is no reason to spend any time in explanation of what you do not want. Because in all that you've been living, you've created a vortex of accomplishment that is vibrationally accurate and is in real time. In other words, right here and now, the vibration of who you have become is active and available to us and to you. If you were in Australia right now, it is tomorrow. That's so strange. Jerry and Esther just love that odd feeling of being in Australia and calling back to the office in Texas and saying, we are living your future. It's really good. You're going to like it when you get there. And of course, that's not accurate, is it? Because whether it is Saturday in California and Sunday in Australia, is still now. And whether it is physically manifesting as it is with you in your magnificent bodies, or non-physically understood as it is with us from this perspective of source energy, is still now. And whether it is your vortex that is a vibrational gathering of cooperative components, whether you can see it or not, is still now. We want you to train yourself to the vibrational eyes that only your emotional understanding will give you. We want you to follow the path of what you feel rather than the path of what you see. We want you to be deliberate about your thinking and speaking and blogging yourself into vibrational alignment with who you are. What do you want to talk about? We'll take thought beyond what it has been before. It is certain we can feel who you are. Be playful about it. Don't worry if we don't call you to the chair. Everyone who sits here is in the process of helping you to know what it is you want to know. Every subject that is active within you is understood by us, and we will address every single one of them fully. Begin right here. Do you like knowing that you're vibrational? Yes. Do you like the idea of your vortex, who is all that you are, beating a signal that is so powerful that if you will allow it, it will train you into the frequency of it? Do you know what will happen when you allow your vortex to train you upward? Things that you want will manifest. And do you know what is the only thing that is keeping you from allowing your vortex to train you upward? Attention to unwanted things, that's all. If you'll stop doing that thing you do, your vortex will have its way with you. And when it does, you will like it. So, the work is to get in the vortex. And then the work is to stay in the vortex. And if you're not in the vortex, then the work is to get in the vortex. And then the work is to stay in the vortex. And if you're not in the... And if you're not in the vortex, then your work is to get in the vortex. And if you're in the vortex, then the work is to stay in the vortex. And if you're not in the vortex, the work is to get in the vortex. And at no point is the work ever to try to get out of the vortex. And at no point is the work ever to try to stay out of the vortex once you're out of the vortex. In other words, this has been a very interesting day, hasn't it? In other words, sometimes people want to be in but aren't. And then we talk a little while and then they are. and then they don't seem to notice how important it is to be in, and so they don't really try to stay in. You have seen demonstrated here today what the real work is, and it's representative of your real life experience, because it's sort of like that, isn't it? So what are some of the tools that you might use, or what do you think is the predominant tool that you might use to stay in the vortex once you're in? Appreciation really is the most powerful tool once you're in the vortex to maintain it. What do you think would be the most powerful way or tool to get in the vortex when you're not in the vortex? Wait. Rampage of appreciation? Certainly not, because if you're not in the vortex and you get really focused, you'll just cement yourself outside. Later gator is good. What does later gator represent? So you're not in the vortex, you know you're not in the vortex, but you want to be in the vortex, but you're not in the vortex, but you want to be in the vortex, but you're not in the vortex, but you want to be in the vortex. What is the mindset? What are you reaching for? Looking for positive aspects is too direct. It's too specific, because it's like reading affirmations from outside the vortex. If you're not in the vortex and you want to be in the vortex, what's the tool you're reaching for? Well, we'll give you a hint. It's diffusion of resistance. So what kinds of things? Say again? Meditation is the surest way to release resistance and to get into the vortex. So let's talk about this for a little bit. What are some ways that you can diffuse resistance? Now, before you try too hard to think about it, we want to say to you that diffusing anything is a deconstructing of the thought. So the more specific you are, the more in the wrong direction you're going if you're out of the vortex, the more general you get. So things like, I don't have to think about this now, I can do this later, I can focus on my breathing, I could count, I could listen for something in the air conditioning, I could gaze into the vastness of the sky or the stars. In other words, I could do something as outrageous as find rhythm like in a drum. I could listen to music, but the selection of music is a little tricky there, because if you're depressed, you'll listen to Love Gone Bad songs. We just want you to be mindful of where you are. In other words, if we were standing in your physical shoes, we would have a keen awareness of where we are in relationship to the vortex. And everything that we would do, everything that we would decide to focus upon, every activity would be, how will this enhance either my longevity in the vortex? Will it cause it to last longer? Or will it move me in the direction of it? So as we're moving forward, just keep those things in mind. We're eager to talk with you about whatever you want to talk about. But this is the direction of the seminar. It's the direction of what would be our physical life if we were standing in your physical shoes. We would be aware of the vortex and our relationship to it, period. You know why? Because everything else is taken care of. Step one's already done. You've already filled the vortex full of wonderful things. Source energy has already gathered the cooperative components. There's only one thing for you to do. There's only one thing for you to do. There's only one thing for you to do. Get in the vortex and stay in the vortex. Get in the vortex and stay in the vortex. That's one thing. Get in the vortex and stay in the vortex. Get in the vortex and stay in the vortex. That's it. It's simpler than you've been making it out to be. Do you know that 100% of politics is outside the vortex? What do you want to talk about? This represents the bravest man on the planet. Well, we've given you a run for your money, but you now understand something that you have not ever understood so clearly before, don't you? The majority of what you talk about is not conducive to the vortex. Doesn't move you in the direction of it and doesn't help you to stay in it. So you've got some thinking to do about the vortex. We've been talking to you for a while, and most of you here are aware of this vortex that we've been talking about. How when you know what you don't want and you know what you do want, and you launch these rockets and they go into this vortex. So there's this vortex version of you that is moving along. It is really the true you. It is the evolved state of who you are. It's who your inner being is. But we want you to feel with us the closeness of this vortex version of you. Esther has been saying to us in the last few weeks especially that it is interesting to her that the vortex has been a conceptual thing. It's been something that she could wrap her thoughts around. It's something that she often could feel her way into, but it wasn't the palpable connection to her a few weeks ago that it is today. In other words, she is beginning to recognize, and many of you are too, the close proximity between you and you. We've been teasing about how interesting it is for many of you to try to explain what goes on in a forum like this to friends who aren't here. As you say, there's this man who calls his wife Abraham. That in and of itself is a very strange thing. And she must be a sort of split personality because she refers to herself in the plural sense. And she insists as she points at the floor and draws a big circle that that's a vortex and that you want to get into it as best you can and that who you really are is there. In our wanting you to get a true sense of how you, the non-physical you, merges with you, the physical you, and then how you, the physical you, merge with the non-physical you in this blending process that we've been talking with you about for years. We want you to feel the fullness of this connection. We want you to feel the absolute close proximity between this vortex, which for many of you is just an idea that is not yet tangible. We want this vortex, which is conceptual. We understand. We're pointing at it and insisting that it is there and that it is a vibrational version of you. But we want you to begin to realize that all day, every day, that the reason that you sift through life experience is for the purpose of creating this vibrational version of you, which is the eternal version of you, which is the forever version of you, which is the truest version of you. But we want you to feel you're in this moment vibrational relationship with that vortex. Because for many, even for Esther, not so long ago, the vortex was something that was still something that she was reaching for. It was an idea or a goal where what you're wanting to understand is that it is the reality that is blendable now. Now, those just sound like words to you. As we're moving forward, you'll hear much more about that. The next thing that we are really wanting you to hear, and we believe that you will hear it clearly from us here today, is that everything that comes to you in terms of manifestation. Now, what's a manifestation? Is it a car? Sure. Is it the house you live in or the house that's on its way to you? Yes, manifestations. Is it your empire? Is it your life's work? Is it the book you're writing? Is it the people who surround you? Yes, 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 yes. Manifestation is all of that. But we want you to begin to feel that what manifestation is, when we use the word manifestation, we're talking about what's happening to you now. In other words, this is a manifestation right now. You're having a manifestation. You're sitting in this chair. You're manifested. The people that are sitting around you and those that are somehow sitting next to you, the conversations that you had coming in, everything that you are living moment by moment is a manifestation. The conversation that you're having in that happenstance meeting on the elevator is a manifestation. And we want you to begin to notice how really, 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 oh, we love saying this to you, really, really, really close your manifestations are, and the relationship that the manifestations that are happening now have to you and your conscious relationship with your vortex. In other words, if something's happening and you're unsettled about it, maybe you're just grouchy about it and have every good reason to be. Maybe someone has mistreated you, or maybe something has gone wrong. Maybe somebody at work was supposed to do something and didn't, or maybe some driver in traffic behaved irrationally or, by your perspective, inappropriately. So as you observe it, you're having a moment in relationship to what's going on. But more important, You're having a moment in relationship to who you really are and what's in your vortex. In other words, whatever's happening is setting up your relationship with your vortex. We have enjoyed this interaction more than words can convey.